She's doing the Doublekoradio thing. She's laughing right before we start.
She knows that.
Because David is just always so.
Welcome to Doublekoradio, guys. We this past weekend went to defend the North, and it was easy for us because we're from New York. Yay! Just mass transit to go to the tournament. So we're gonna go first with our experience. David didn't go Friday, but Vanessa and I went Friday. Friday, did I work or was I off?
No, we were off Friday.
Okay, so
I was sleeping.
I wanted to go there just to see a layout, a lay of the land, basically a layout of the event, see all the rooms, what they had.
You wanted to be out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to be in there, get my stuff and dip. But Cutie convinced me to stay a little longer, and I told her she kept wanting me to play casuals or something like that. That was one of the issues I had with casuals for the game I was playing. Out of the entire venue, there was only one setup for it. And it was really weird because there's a setup right next to it of a different game, but it's just one setup for it. So I don't know, that kind of put me off to playing or waiting online for the game. We ended up staying for the No Frills podcast, since that's a podcast I listen to. And I said if I were going to stay for anything, I'd just stay to watch it live, to experience it live. And they had technical issues.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 4, and it didn't start till like a little after 5.
Whoa!
I thought it was that late.
Yeah.
Damn.
And you know, like with me already, I'm going, well, this is the first time in a tournament people are trying to do a podcast kind of thing for the FGC. So I'm there's a lot of leeway coming from me. I was like, all right, first time. They're trying to set up. They're trying to figure out the how to set up for the venue and all that stuff. And who knows how much experience these guys have with setting up in a big place like that. They usually do it in their own studio or whatever, you know. And that studio could be somebody's house. I don't know.
Was there a lot of people there waiting for the podcast, or it was just
there? Well, it was in the Grand Ballroom. So the Grand Ballroom had most of the casual setups for Friday. So they had like 1, 2, 3, 4, like maybe 6 or 8 tables set up, 4 setups on each table. And then the back wall had tables. The seats were pretty full.
They were?
No, the seats were full, but there weren't that many seats.
There weren't that many seats.
Okay, so it balanced it out.
But yeah, kind of. There was enough. It definitely filled out. There were people standing around going, you know, like,
just
damn,
waiting,
there's nowhere to seat.
Yeah,
that too.
But they did a good job. They definitely played to the crowd. They made it feel like the crowd was the guest in a way, even though they did have a guest for them to speak.
That's dope.
There was a lot of interaction between them and the audience, because they usually like having a lot of almost like what if questions or you know, like whose opinions on what, and then they bounce off each other off of that. But yeah, it was good. It was a good experience. I'm glad I stayed for it, even though it was one of the first times we experienced like a delay in over the weekend.
We were comfortable though. We had our seats. It still wasn't hot then on Friday.
Ventilation was good.
Yeah, actually,
ventilation was really good on Friday.
What we noticed was coming into the hotel, the lobby's super cold, Grand Ballroom super cold. But when we the one thing I wanted to find was, I asked her where am I playing my pool, and she figured it out on the map. We went down the map, and when I went there, that's when we first saw our first issue, because the upstairs rooms weren't as cold.
Okay.
And they weren't
as big either.
They weren't. They definitely weren't as big. They were the smaller rooms, and there weren't that many people on Friday. So it was like we looked at each other like,
this is gonna get.
I don't know. It's not. It's
gonna get.
Yeah, it's like it's Friday. There's not that many people. It was freezing downstairs because we were freezing when we were.
And it was kind of warm within. It wasn't. There were some people playing some games because they had setups in the rooms too on Friday, and you felt the difference. It wasn't as bad, but you felt the difference. It didn't smell yet.
Around the time.
Gonna touch on that.
Around the time that we went, I think pools were pretty much at the beginning stages for the anime games in that room.
Okay.
It was Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and something else on the side. Probably Uni or whatever. I don't remember the third game, but I remember there being 3 games and going, okay, they feel like they can fit this much, and it wasn't that crowded. So I'm like, all right, should be cool for tomorrow, even though I'm in this room. But yeah, what'd you think about the little gifting area, the shop area?
Oh, that's when I got there Saturday. I don't know how it was on Friday.
It was more or less the same. They were setting up.
It was the same setup. It was there wasn't as many people. The only thing that I had mentioned it to him too was, as soon as you go in and you get your badges, they're right there. So I don't think that was like a good place for it, because the most popular one was right there, the Sonic Boombox, which is really dope. Yeah. But it's just, you're gonna cause congestion. You're gonna cause traffic. As soon as you get your badge, they're right there, and it's just like.
And also, if you want to go to your pool or something, or see where you're going to be, it's not gonna be in that area also. So, would you rather have it on the next room after you open the doors? You know that. I mean,
they had good spacing there.
Right.
They had more space, right? Where they had. I don't know, those were casual setups.
Like next to the casino room, next to the crystal room.
I don't know that, but then they had this other. I forgot what the monitor brand is. Like they had
Zowie.
Like, their own.
Oh yeah, right there. You could sign. Put your.
How much was behind them? Because I remember
there wasn't much behind them. They had. I guess that's where they had their backstock, the backstock of their monitors and stuff. But it's just like maybe there would have been a better place for some of the.
Yeah, I agree.
The setups, like a more popular place. Because no one really wants to like go out of the grand ballroom or anything to go and look at stuff and then come back in, especially if you're waiting for pools. So maybe that might have been a better place for them to stage some of their places.
Yeah, it feels disconnected also too, because let's say
even it was cool.
If you want to interact with, like you just mentioned, like the cool people over there, you feel like you literally distance yourself from what the venue is, right? Like from the activities and everything. You go to this location to check the booth. And then going back, I feel like 2 different worlds in that aspect.
I mean, I did that all day Saturday, so.
I enjoyed one of them. I think that one we did, which was the picture. But I still feel like I agree with you. Like there was like a disconnect. Maybe in the next room, next to that crystal room that they had, which I don't know what they were playing. They were just playing random games there, Street Fighter and Dragon Ball there.
And they had random setups.
Like I took pictures of it, but I don't remember what they were playing.
Yeah,
I didn't pay attention.
Would have been good to put a pool there, maybe. Maybe just one pool.
But then you would have caused congestion and traffic there too.
But the booth there would be better, I think.
At least 1 or 2 of them. It's just soon, and there wasn't that much space to walk through to get to the grand ballroom and stuff. Right. So I think just maybe those first 2 booths that were right there, maybe not have them right there.
Because that line of setups that were right where the stairs go up. That I remember having to wait till somebody comes down. Then I can go up several times too. It wasn't just once.
Yeah, someone always hit me with their cosplay too. So absolutely. That was Friday. But what about Saturday when I arrived? I was like, "Yo, guys!" It was hot, so hot that day, Saturday.
It was.
Wasn't it hot Friday too?
It was hot Friday, but.
It
wasn't as bad as Saturday. Because Saturday was the hottest day of the weekend.
Yeah, 100 something.
Friday was hot. There wasn't that many people that had went on Friday. At least not the time that we were there. Because we left like around 6 or 7.
It's Friday.
On Friday. We left around 6 or 7. And that was a 24-hour venue. So I know people probably came later. Mm-hmm. But when we left, like, it was definitely crowded when we left and when we had first gotten there.
Gotcha.
But...
No, Saturday.
It didn't feel as bad, but we were also sitting in one room for hours waiting and watching the no frills.
Gotcha.
So it's hard to tell like how the other rooms were.
The Saturday was.
I remember wanting to get there a little earlier to try and get some casual matches in.
Yeah, you text me that. What time you got there?
I got there in good time, but it's just still that one setup was there. I don't even know if it was actually set up there because they were doing things, but it probably was. I don't even remember. I just looked at it again. It looked so sad. I'm like, nah, I'm not going up there. So I go to the place. I'm like, there's probably setups upstairs. When we get to where I'm supposed to be for pools at noon, because both our pools were at noon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, downstairs there was only one setup because I remember we went into the grand ballroom because we were showing David around, and we was just there looking at them playing at that one setup.
That's when actually I was like, so what is it? Look, a bunch of games with Mortal Kombat around.
Yeah, it was still
one Samsung right there. And he was like, yep, this is it. I was like, well, at least there's good AC in here. Yeah. It was good AC in there. Some good AC. At least when I got there on Saturday, even thought it was super hot. I think I was more welcomed by the good AC than by the venue. I was like, yo, this feels good, feels nice. But then once I started settling, I was like, oh, this feels. And that's when me and Kitty were talking about the space. Does it look smaller or is it actually smaller? And I think it was divided in small rooms.
We had that debate on Friday too. Me and Poe of last year's venue.
Mm-hmm.
To me, last year's venue was bigger. He says it's not.
Yeah.
It was just a layout, but I honestly think it was bigger because they had more seating room plus all the setups all in one room.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel as hot at any point, other than when you went downstairs to where all the smaller games and stuff were. And that's
absolutely, and
that's where you felt the difference.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, not this room.
But I can definitely visually look smaller. Would it be smaller? I don't know, but it visually looks smaller. And it felt more for me when I saw it. It was like there was just a bunch of games everywhere. Like it didn't feel like this is the game for this is the game for that. Like when we went,
pretty all over the place.
When we went to last year, this all row was Guilty Gear. Behind it was all Blaze Blue. Behind it
even on Saturday when we had went, the wall, because that's where the UMVC 2 was. Is that what it is? The smaller games were on the back wall on Friday, but when we went in on Saturday, they weren't set up yet.
Yeah, everything was there.
There was just the tables and everything was just empty.
Yeah, they were like, oh, what's going on here?
Like 10:30, 11. I was like, oh, all the setups are gone.
That's why Jace was playing on the floor, remember? We were playing Marvel too.
That was Sunday.
Mm-hmm. But that's the area she was mentioning.
Yeah.
So, and I think you guys showed me upstairs. You had to show me the room that I was going to be at. I was like, God damn, this is small. And then you guys show me to the arcade room. I think that's my favorite room in that place.
Yo, high score girl.
Yeah,
that's all I thought of when I was like, oh my god, those are the cabinets.
So they had cool arcade room. Literally, the physical arcades there. You didn't have to pay, which is great.
It's really cute, big ass cabinets.
Multiple games that you know that they're handpicked for people that they're fans for this game. They were not random games. You know, they have the Soul Calibur 2. They have games that I don't even know, and then they have Darkstalkers, Super Turbo. And you could tell everyone was already in their own clique in their own game. We played.
There's a good amount of space too between all the cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a decent sized room. The room I'm really, and like in retrospect, like this is the room that was really like severely underutilized. That could have been.
Yeah, we didn't even know if
the yoga room, like I called it.
Yeah, it was like almost like pretty much the same size room that we were in, right? For the Sam Show Dragon Ball pools.
The one next to the bathroom?
Yeah. It was like...
That we didn't even go into, I think, till Sunday?
Until Saturday, later Saturday.
We went there Saturday.
Until later Saturday. Later
Saturday. It was just random PC games.
Yes!
Like a random Sailor Moon game. Like
that. I wish they had, like, signage. Now that I'm thinking about it
there was no arrows, nothing.
There was no, like...
Something that said, hey, casual this stuff, or...
Yeah, or like where rooms, because that room that you're talking about almost felt like we couldn't go in there.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, because there was a guard just kind of standing there, and I'm like,
it's just like, okay, maybe it's like
I waited until somebody.
Something.
No, yeah, I waited until somebody passed through him.
Lasers wouldn't hit him,
and he did. Yeah, he didn't do anything. So I'm like, I'm gonna go in.
Yeah, we went, and it was actually good. Better weather, better AC in there. Everything was more quieter.
But that's because there was barely anybody in
there. But
there.
that's the thing. Even more quieter. Everything was quieter. And we were like, it even had a good view with the walls.
Yeah, there was you could see outside.
Glass windows. But it was random. Just random stuff there. People eating.
But that could have been a whole, like, somebody could have set their stream up there and streamed one whole tournament in there.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to put 180 bracket tournament, 180 person tournament and 140 person tournament in that one little room throughout the day,
or a side event for people that are just viewing, for people that are just not competing, something like a raffle or something that could be done in there. You know, anything that's just utilized.
No, that needed to be one of the rooms, because the thing is that we had congestion for the main games.
No, we did. Yeah, I get you.
That needed to be a main game room, and then since it's open for 24 hours, have that be the casual setups too. Like, you know, like those rooms are open. They could just stay casual setups for that game that people came to play.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it felt like that's why I felt a lot of random rooms. I like the idea there was many different rooms, but then it had an identity other than the arcade room. The arcade room was definitely an arcade room. When you guys showed me to the Smash one, the casino one, right? Casino, Crystal. Sorry, I keep calling casino the Crystal Room.
The Crystal Room, yeah.
I had the GTA casino in my head. I think it was the better setup.
I think so too.
It was very like you could walk. It had like a pattern that you could walk without being in everyone's way.
And that's what having those big ass CRTs there too for Melee.
And then they had the panels with the 2 TVs hanging up, so you could see the stream. There was a streamer there that you don't even bother. You just walk by him. You know.
I heard that ran smooth, but
I just didn't want to be in there.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I want to be in there because I already felt like a lot was going on. So it felt even overwhelming. For I was like, yo, there's a lot of shit going on here, and I don't want to be in this way because I'm not gonna report nothing in here as a viewer or as anything. So I was like, nope, not my way. I think I spent the most time in my pool room, which was in the Sam Show room. Hot as hell, super unorganized.
So the problem comes with you got 2 pools. It's a small room. It's a small room. It'll probably fit like at any given day like 30 to 50 seats max, like if it's for a presentation or something. You were in there for the anime thing. How big was it for the anime thing? How many people were there for the anime contest? I mean,
the
cosplay contest
on Sunday. There weren't that many people in there. There was maybe
20?
like 25 people or so, and it was comfortable.
Nice.
And it was comfortable. Yeah, they had like the seats set up in the middle. It wasn't really that packed because like nobody's really going. So that I'm
glad you said that number because most of the pools were around 20 some odd people, and you got 2 pools running for Dragon Ball, 2 pools running for Sam Show all at once. So that's 4. That makes it around 80 people that might need to be in the room at any given time because their pools are there. Then you got people's friends. Then you got people passing by seeing what's going on.
You have people's stuff.
I thought it was 3 pools
taking
for
up
Sam
space.
Show.
No, it was 2 pools
at a time.
Oh, yeah. Damn! And it was still one waiting there because remember, the 3 was waiting.
Yeah.
And then people were playing both games depending on like how Jay was.
Yeah,
Jay was in
there
pool
for Dragon
2
Ball
for Dragon Ball, but pool 3 for Sam Show.
So the venue already, we see some missing matches as soon as we get there, because we're a little bit disorganized in the rooms. We don't see the identities of the room, and
they still had seats set up for people to watch. So I would have took those seats off.
Yeah. So we're still hopeful about, hey, this just, it might be crowded, but if it runs smooth, it might go, which it goes to our next point, right? Like, our experience with that running, being a competitor or a spectator. There, right?
Yeah. We were there early. Right? We were here early for a pool. Our pool says noon. We were there like what, 11:45 latest because we were there pretty early.
We were there early.
And we had to wait about an hour before our pool started.
Before we even know how it was going to start. Because we didn't even know. Remember, you had to ask, is this where you asked the guy first for your name, for confirmation for your name? So they had a table in the corner. They had a guy, I guess, running with a paper, seeing the names. I remember going with Poe, and he goes like, hey, my name is DKO Poe. Just want to make sure that I'm in the list, which is a smart thing. And he goes like, DKO David? I was like, no, that's me. And I got a little bit scared for you there. Because then he was like...
he's there.
He was like, yeah. And it took a little while, right? To find you or something like that.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know why.
Correct. So that was that. Then once they confirm us, we just there waiting.
But that gave me hope. I was like, okay, cool. They got a plan. It's running late. Something's going on, but they got a plan. There's a guy with a computer.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
That's right. I didn't know that there was a Dragon Ball tournament in there. I thought that room was Samurai Showdown only until I think it was Cutie that told me. That was like, oh, Jay's there playing. I was like, oh, wait. Oh, so this is Dragon Ball. Shit. Okay. So that takes half of the room that we barely have for another game, right? 4 rows of seats, and then they had a stream going on in the left. Which you feel like we can still move those chairs up. Like, there was enough space to move this chair up close to whatever that screen was.
Yeah.
There was plenty of room because I could move from the front and no one was utilizing that. And there was a lot of people stashed next to the players in the room.
It honestly, like, if there were at least that one person that had any kind of awareness and enough, like, I guess, foresight and experience to go, this is going to go around with this amount of people here. I'm used to this. I'm going to adjust things before it gets a little dangerous or hectic or whatever. Because the guy, and like, like, we all want to hear, you know, when who's calling what pool, but not everybody's that considerate or mindful that's in that room. So all these guys trying to fucking so and so go to this setup with so and so. You know, like not everybody has a good bass in their voice for calling out their pool, even though they volunteer for it.
Yeah.
You know, so like running the people that were running the pool looked stressed.
Yeah.
One of the guys we saw, like after
the one that was running David's
the one that was
pool,
running your
about
pool,
to, like, have a stroke.
he was like, on the floor sweating. He was like half asleep, and me and Dave were looking at each other like,
this guy got body.
This was.
And then another
much.
thing to add to that, let's say they were calling for you just to use your name. The person doesn't have a good voice to say it. Then another random stranger starts yelling your name, and then another person starts yelling your name, and then instead of being clarity, it's just become chaos. It's just things just, you know. Sorry if it sounds so loud, guys. But it was really uncomfortable, like really, really uncomfortable. Like, yo, what the hell with these random sweaty guys just yelling out of here, thinking that he's the shit, dude. No, you're making more chaos, more sound, more, and it's just not helping. Also, the Dragon Ball pool that is running, that they're trying to find someone.
And
there.
even them, like because I was in and out the room, but I'm one, like, because the mother of me is always like aware of like everything that's going on. There was just no organization on what setups are for what, where pools are being done. Like I had said, like if I did it, I'd have pool 1 here, pool 2 here, but like they were calling Dragon Ball pools, and they're like, all right, just find whatever setup and play there. And it's just like,
yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, that happened to me in my Sam show. The guy that was running with mine, he was like, they told him this, hey, use this setup here, right? Which was 2 PlayStations. So he was gonna, whatever his pool is gonna align them there. And then for me, then it was again, I was supposed to play, and they were like, oh, go here. And they were like, oh, and the guy was like, oh, but that's mine. That's running pool 3. And he was like, oh, okay, no, so go here. Like, they didn't know between each other, like you mentioned, where to go. So they were just trying to fill the gaps of where to go.
Yeah, and it was a lot of like that with Dragon Ball, especially because they were just this name here, and then just play wherever you can.
Really?
I just remembered what one of the main reasons was that ours started late.
What?
Our games weren't installed into the PlayStation 4.
Oh, yeah.
One of the guys was like, hey, don't worry, I got my PlayStation, it's already updated. And then when they put it, was like, yo, the game is not even here. And they started laughing. And
then they started checking all of them.
Yeah.
And they had to...
Justin was in front of me, and he was telling one of
Your bestie?
Yeah, it's my friend. He was telling one of the brackers, organizers, whatever you want to call it.
Bracker runners?
Runner. He was like, hey, not to rush like that. He's like, hey, not to rush, but I need to play my game. You know, I'm already in the list. I need to play my pool because I have like 10 more games I need to play. And I get it, like, not to be disrespectful. He's not more special than any of us to play. But to be considerate, you know, basically what he's saying is, let's try to run on time, or at least push it. Let's hustle this, because there's other people that have to play other stuff, you know. And it would be a shame that they would have to be disqualified because of that, right? And so you could feel the frustration. And to be honest, they did the best they can, maybe so, but they were definitely flustered, man. Like, I didn't even want to bother them much in terms of like, yo, where's my game be like? But I wanted to, because I didn't want it to be the queue. So I always was like, yo, I'm here. And then you could see them being like frustrated. Oh, well, this guy.
I got lucky that my pool runner was at the door. So I just kept...
went really smooth.
So, because he basically decided to choose the 4 setups closest to him to keep putting his people there.
So you can have a look on when they finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even one match that Poe had. He even came over. He was like, what's taking you guys so long? Like, and it's one of those, like, his awareness of, all right, this is taking longer than usual. And it was just like legit the matches he was having with I forgot who it was you were playing with. Like, they were legit just going long.
But like we started a little longer too, because a lot of people
had the issue with the controller.
A lot of people were come to find out afterward that a lot of people had like different kinds of issues with their setups. Like, there's weird stuff going on depending on the setup.
I did too.
And that was one of the setups that was having an issue. We thought it might have been the because he played pad and he had his own cord. He and I thought it was just his cord, but it ended up being that setup's port, because that happened to me in a match.
You're like, hey.
Afterward. But with him, it at least started in the beginning, so it didn't really bother him during our match. Me, it happened mid-match, so it kind of messed me up. And I was like, "Oh shit, what happened to my controller?" So I had to stall a little bit.
And then
figure out what was going on.
Yeah, for me was that when I connected mine, it would keep blinking red, like it wasn't reading it, but it was reading it, and I would press start, and nothing would sync, and I disconnected it, connected again, work. I left it there for a second to see if it was something with the cable. I was like, my cable works, so I know it's not my cable.
Yeah.
Because I literally just play. No, and
it ain't me.
Yeah, no.
And I literally fine.
And I play on the previous one. It worked perfectly fine. So I know it wasn't mine. But one other thing that I also found inconsistent was, so if they're running short on time, which I noticed, and people weren't answering to their names, they were giving too much leeway. Like even just was like, "Yo, he's not here. DQ him."
Yeah,
that
should have been that should have been a strict 5-minute like leeway time. Just
less
like
to that time that they had, it would have been like 3 calls. You're not there. You're out.
I think it was against you. There was
ramen something eater.
So long. It just felt like 30 minutes. I'm like, bro.
And I went to him and I was like, and I told him I was like, "Yo, if he's not here or he's not answering," but I was like, he's not here. And then other people were saying like, "Oh, give him a chance," and stuff like that. Yeah, but he's already running late. There's no time for that, So some of them were doing that. Hey, look, he's not here. Boom. And then others were still talking. Like your guy was still looking for people.
Especially when you're running late.
Yeah, dude.
You're running super late. Especially by the time DG had his 2:00 pool, right? He ended up playing by like what? 3:30,
almost 4, dude.
Almost 4.
Because they were running the bracket, but his entire bracket was moving except for him. And they were waiting for a dude named True Ryu Fan.
Yeah.
And like they waited till he actually got there instead of like going, "Hey, it's been fucking 15-20 minutes.
Done.
Move it along. Move it along."
Done. And I'm gonna say, right, I think DG, like, he doesn't maybe speak up. Like I started speaking up for him. I was like, hey, yo, DG's here. Where's his opponent? So your guy
because then they called him. They finally called him to get to, and they put him on a setup. And it's like 5 minutes. Me and David look at each other. We're like, he's not fucking playing yet. So we go to the guy. We're like, yo,
he's not
here. Like,
do something.
And then he was like,
yeah.
Yeah. And then like they called him one time, and he ended up getting DQ'd. But it's just like.
And then they put someone else. I remember like, you play him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was official or something, but they put it like that. Like, so a lot of hiccups in there. And during that whole process, it was getting really warm, really warm. Quick. And people brushing into people. Like, I get it. It's very busy. I'm a very skinny guy, so I fit anywhere. I get that. Some people might not be as, I don't know, whatever. They might not have that advantage.
Other people are thick.
Yeah, they might not have that advantage. But they were not.
I couldn't stay in that room.
But they were being rude too. Like, they were pushing and shoving and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were, like, 100%. And I get it that you're trying to go from A to B, but all it takes is, hey, give me a second, or a tap on the shoulder or something, They were being... I know you had an incident that happened like that, but for me also, like, I literally almost trampled me. I'm like, yo.
Was saying, excuse me, as he was elbowing me, like, just to try and move.
I couldn't stay in that room. It was too hot.
Yeah.
Anytime a couple of people came in, I was like, all right, so many people, I'm getting too hot. I wandered. Saturday, I wandered so fucking much. Like, I think if I had my watch, I probably would have done like 30,000 steps, because up and downstairs to cool off, going down to the lobby, going up, because it was too hot in that room.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I stayed there long enough because I wanted to be there to support DG, because he was like the last one out of all of us that are basically family.
Was playing,
that was playing, and I wanted to be there, like, in case, for support, any kind of support.
Of course, we were trying to watch each other's matches.
But there was this one time. Legit, like, as soon as I got, like, some dude passed, his smell, like,
I think it's probably the same one that made me dizzy.
Super sharp. Like,
I was involved in the section that you both happened. It wasn't me, by the way.
It hit me, and, like, because David was about ready to go. Like, he was like done with the smell, and then when it hit me,
in the room.
I did like an eye roll, and then when I came to, I was dizzy, and I was like, all right, I gotta go. I've never been like dizzy off of a fucking smell, and I knew it had to be more than. I'm like, all right, there's heat, there's a smell.
It's the same thing. Me, I was like, yo, David. It literally felt like the smell went up my nose, and went in my brain. It was like, woo!
Listen, guys.
Boom! I was like, yo,
I was there
need to leave.
for both experiences. So I'm talking to Cutie, just there talking normal, and I don't know where she's like, she got possessed. Like, she's talking to me, she goes like something went and so grabbed her and told her something that she was like. And then he got
hit by it.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, so it was horrible. And then I'm talking to both. I even pull my deodorant, I start whiffing it, and it smelled better when I pull out my deodorant.
That was even before that.
Yeah.
It was amazing how just opening deodorant helped.
I was just there, and then...
You had 4 people going, yeah, I smell that. Yeah, that works.
And then a couple of minutes later, I said, yo, bro, I can't take this smell. You're like, what smell? And then, boom, it hit you. I think that's when we walked.
So, yeah, after that, Cutie really needed to eat. After that, I felt like maybe I needed to eat too because, I got dizzy. So, we all decided to go eat. I texted DG. I was like, yo, bro, let me know how the matches go because we're all hungry and all that crap.
Before we left, before my last match, I was still waiting. The first person that beat me on winners, they were calling him for losers, right? They were calling him for losers. And I know where he was. And I know they were calling him. And I know he was not paying attention. And they're going like 4 times. And I'm fucking good guy. I should have been like, fuck you, get disqualified. I was like, look, his name was Giovanni. I was like, Giovanni's right there. And that's one of that. And he's not listening to you calling him. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, DQ him then. You're literally calling him. He's not paying attention. Fuck it. We're not going to wait for you. You got to pay attention to your pool. And they were calling him multiple times, like, look, he's there. So the guy that needed to play
him... It was also pretty loud in there, too.
Yeah, and the guy that was playing... But he was just there, looking anywhere. The guy that was playing for went to him and was like, yo, Gio. He was like, what's up? And he was like, come, let's play. And then he come and then I went to play. I should have not told him.
I did a nice guy move. So, like, after the second match I won, like, they were calling the guy. But I knew where he was because I already knew where he was. He was like maybe just 15 feet away, but I knew he couldn't hear him.
Gotcha.
So like as soon as I went to go over, but I think he heard as soon as like maybe like the third call, and I did the whole he's calling you, like kind of like the hand signal.
Like, yo, and then so you save him. That's what I'm saying.
No, he would have just saved himself.
Do you play that guy or no?
No, that was after he and I played. I was just like, hey, you're...
See, it's a nice guy thing. It's a nice DKO thing.
You just said you weren't being nice.
I know, but I did. But I was nice. I didn't want it to be nice.
Couldn't help it.
But I...
couldn't help it.
So we went to eat, right? We went definitely to eat. We decided what to eat. He had no insight in what to eat.
Anyway.
So we went to eat. And then we came back, right? Did we came back or we left?
No, we were done for the day. We were done for the day.
We're tired, guys.
And it's a good thing we did because that's when we started realizing off of social media that it wasn't just our crazy room, but a lot of other, like all the people that were doing better in their games, unfortunately had a lot of delays and they played till some people played till like 2-3 a.m. in the morning, had to like to finish off their tournament runs and stuff like that. Yeah,
insane.
So that's rough. Like for us, like we had fun.
Yeah.
Even though we had a tough time in that room, it was still like a fun experience.
I had fun wandering. I met my favorite cosplayer. I spoke to her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Finally.
You had the courage.
I did.
I think we made it fun. Not to take it out from them, but we made it fun.
We made the best out of
the situation because if you really think about it, the situation was rough. It was super rough and discouraging too. Mm-hmm. I think it was a little bit discouraging. A spectator too. You're like, well, you said it. I don't want to be in that room. You didn't had a feeling to even be in that room. Sometimes the room can be crowded, but you still want to be in it because it still feels great to be in that room.
It's just too hot, and there was times that I didn't even realize how hot I was. I was telling Paul this too. It was like I felt okay, but when I left the room, I'm like, ugh, I'm sweaty. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't even realize I was fucking hot and like damp and shit. I was like, ugh.
Imagine.
So like I needed to walk around. I'm just like, everyone's there, everyone's glistening from sweat.
They look like a DOA character. They look like character. They're glistening.
Glistening. They have a face. Everyone's frustrated, and it's just like. Even like I don't even know how like competitors can play like in that type of environment because as a spectator I'm just like I don't want to fucking be here. Like if I'm gonna play I just want to get it over with. I don't give a fuck if I win or lose. Like I paid for this, so I'm just gonna play.
And that discourages you to play even better because you're like what the fuck?
Like I just want to get out of here. Like it's hot.
Absolutely. And then we left, right? So we left, and then we came back for top, right?
We came back the next day Sunday to watch. Top 8?
Top 8, yeah.
The top 8s. I wanted to watch Sam's show Top 8 since that's the game we went in for, but we went in a little earlier. I came in earlier so we could get seats, like decent seating for the whole day. You got the seats.
Remember?
What's he talking about?
I was like, where you guys at? And you guys came to me. You guys meet me.
You were standing.
Yeah, so you guys meet me. Listen, don't let them twist the story.
But you don't have seats, you're standing.
But then I pulled the suite and picked the seat to you, remember? Yo, you guys didn't take that
your own seat. Poke got
my seat. We made the rows in the back, remember?
Yeah.
Why are you saying we? I got her a seat all the way in the back because all the seats were all kind of spread out. I asked the dude for a seat, took it, went to a setup that was,
I took my seat.
the PlayStation was sitting there. There's random PlayStation chilling there. I asked the dude to take it off. I got my seat. And then I told you better get your seat.
And I got my seat.
Yeah, and you got your seat. Because, like, you'd think there'd be a little bit more seating. Because, like, let's say for the cosplay thing you did, right? I remember you took a picture. There was like 20 seats or whatever. Somebody could have migrated all those seats down because there was people watching, and then all the way on the side there was tons of people on the floor and standing up behind us, which is really weird because they were like a fucking erection away from bumping into the back of our neck. So it was just, it's a little bizarre. And then I got, you got people, Cutie, like she said, she keeps going and coming like where as she pleases, so I have to hold her seat. And I got people wondering about my seat, and I'm just like, it's my seat.
Yeah,
sorry.
You're right. It's not like people put their stuff in their bags and stuff like that on their seat just because this was a designated seat. But I get it. Like the sitting area was a little bit. Like it had an idea. This is they will have two setups. They have two screens.
And when Paul had thought that they were gonna change the layout, being that
it didn't, right?
It was only gonna be mainly top 8s happening. But they didn't. The layout stood the same thing the whole weekend.
Yeah, they should have adjusted to it. This is me thinking for, what would be important that day. They still were just like, it's enough.
And they had a lot of casual stuff going.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of casual stuff still going, which creates crowd, which is fine, but less room for us to view, right?
I would have said, like, if they were going to still have
move
casual
the tables
setups,
more to the side. There was a lot of space on the side. And put more seats in the back. Like, I made a joke to Paul. I was like, by the time everybody leaves on Sunday, they're going to be like, why the fuck did we set up chairs? Because everyone set chairs and put them everywhere that they wanted. And was sitting everywhere and anywhere that they could.
They created their own seating place.
Yeah, like they would even take seats that were in front of us and then put them to the side.
To get their click.
Just to get like a better view or stuff. So there's just like gaps and holes in the setups of where they had the chairs. It's just like, people obviously want to see top 8. They want to see. Yeah. Give them fucking seats. Yeah. Let them see. Move the tables to the side.
A lot of people didn't care that you were watching. They would stand in front of you. I have to be like, excuse me.
One guy.
Excuse me.
This one very special guy that had no
personal space.
No concept of personal space in the.
I thought he was fucking with me.
The guy was like 6+, 300+.
I think he was fucking with me, to be honest. Yeah, literally like this, and I'm like, I thought he was.
They was like, do you want to switch? No.
Yo,
I'm good here.
That's why I thought he was fucking with me. Like I haha jokes. So like,
I thought he heard you, and then he left. But then he came back weirder than ever.
Worse. Yeah, worse.
He was at the cosplay contest. He didn't participate in it, but he was upstairs.
It could have. He has a little hat.
Yeah. We met our friend.
He was in the group picture at the end.
We met our friend Brandon there too.
Brandon was there. Shout out to him. We see him at these things.
Brandon was there. It was pretty cool. We took cool photos in the photo booth that you end up being friends with, like NYXL thingy.
Yeah, they're right there. David,
if
you want to reach somewhere under my deodorant thing.
Ooh, that's a word they don't know about over there.
Yeah, there were people that worked for NYXL that were there taking photos for it. Defend the North. Beef jerkies, bro. They were around there.
Under the beef jerkies that Vanessa doesn't want us to eat ever. Yes, it moved.
Yeah, you like those beef jerkies?
Oh, that's right, you cleaned.
Do you like beef jerky? That shit's disgusting.
She got a Wagyu beef one. Remember when we want to eat the Wagyu steak?
Wagyu beef?
That's what's been there for 3 months. I remember you see the rip still in one of them.
Is that like a wine? Like,
and I've said several times, I was like,
I almost ate this one. Look, it's ripped open. And she's like, I thought we were going to eat those together.
Question, does that get better as age pass, like wine?
I think it does.
Well, most meat does.
I think it does.
Oh, man. Poor.
In my defense, I've said several times, all right, come on, let's try. You're like, no, I want to eat it with the guys.
Poor Wagyu.
Anyway,
that's the name.
This is one of the pictures that we took. I don't really see it.
Yo, we got Fedora Boys. That's pretty dope. I think that was pretty cool. If they had more of that, I think it would be really cool.
They should have wiped down all their stuff, though. I didn't want to pick up anything because this shit was kind of...
dampy.
Yeah, like every hour just... All right, it looks clean. Everybody come take a picture.
Yeah, sanitary, absolutely. Top 8 was okay. I think, and the reason I said okay is because of those things that we mentioned, but it was still fun to watch.
It was fun.
Yeah, Soul Calibur. She surprisingly liked Soul Calibur a lot to watch.
It's a nice game to watch.
That community was definitely trying to go in on the crowd, like
on Dragon Ball crowd.
Yeah, there were hype moments for Dragon Ball. It's just they took longer. Yeah. Because they're like, you gotta wait for the combo.
I think the one that took the most the show was the Ultimate Marvel.
Yeah, that's the one like post like, right, I'm ready to go. I was like, but I want to see.
Yeah, that Ultimate Marvel was really
but that's because there's a lot of story to that, and that story started with the hype capped off with Dragon God beating somebody he shouldn't have beaten.
Yeah,
but that's a Rusty Christie.
Yeah, but still,
it's still amazing that he won.
It was so hype.
It was like the most hype the crowd got, and then by the time you're watching like an Evo like rematch basically between Justin Wong and Chris G, it just to me honestly like our Marvels still was hype. I could watch it like maybe once a year. That was it. Because by then I was like,
that Marvel took the crowd from Mortal Kombat, dude. Mortal Kombat was super dead. Mortal Kombat was no emotion. Yeah. Everything didn't feel like there was a lot of ice in there or support in there. Like
I looked every now and then because I did want to watch Mortal Kombat, and I was just like, oh man, it's compared to Marvel.
Yeah. That's why I said whoever put Marvel next to Mortal Kombat, no, it's a completely different pace game. I get it, but the energy that was in that place, dude, would have taken the whole game. So yeah, I'm surprised. So maybe this Defender North wasn't too much into Mortal Kombat. I don't know. It's just like people were bored about it.
I think it had. Well, in comparison to what I think if Marvel wasn't there, it would have been better.
But even the players as they were playing, they didn't look. There was a lot of emotion going. Look how in Soul Calibur emotions were so high. The players, they were like doing these things. There was a pop off. There was all this stuff. Dragon Ball, obviously, there was a lot of energy. Ultimate Marvel, Sam Show, there was a lot of energy between them. Mortal Kombat was just that. It looked like very soulless.
We didn't watch all of it.
But it still felt soulless, at least from what I saw.
There was plenty of casual setups for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's me being salty. One Sam Show.
That's the best-selling game, so
best-selling game. They must have bought like 20 of those, right? Put it in a casual setup.
Wagyu beef, we know.
Yeah. You gonna try that right now on the thing?
Nope. Devo.
Why?
No. So the question that's standing is, will you?
Well,
okay, go ahead.
It's a lot of negativity.
That's what I was gonna say.
What was your favorite part of Defender North?
That's what I was gonna say. Top 3 and top worst. Favorite part was the AC in the big room.
The AC in the big room. Okay.
In the big room.
That did feel good. Every single time.
The AC in the lobby.
But you almost fell asleep?
She got to chill in the lobby.
Yeah, I had to go to the lobby because it was just too hot.
She was conjugating, right? That was the word?
I was sitting down on the couches down in the lobby to get some air because it was too hot. Like, physically and, like, mentally and emotionally. I was just like, I can't take it. I need air. I need to go downstairs.
I like that. I like the picture booth. Like I said, I wish there was a little bit more attraction to it because I think that creates history in there. It creates personality in there. I think that was pretty cool. And chill with my friends and stuff like that was really cool. I got to see like Brandon and stuff. That was pretty cool. And top 8 Marvel. That's the cool things that I like. Can I get that anywhere else? Sure. But I experienced it here, close, a place that I was a train away. I think that was the best part of it. Yeah. Didn't feel like a drag. Fuck, I'm going home. It didn't feel like that. Even though it did a little bit because I was tired.
Yeah, because
you didn't have the experience with me and Paul did on Friday going home.
When there was no way to go home.
When all the trains.
There's no way to go home.
We're suspended, but anyway.
But I was home in my AC. And then things that I think I will make it better, like we mentioned already, but the organization, I want to see at least better to compete is the organization of the pools because
there needs to be planning. A lot of it because it felt like the planning was more like there was enough planning to set it up and then somebody else has to knock it out the park.
Absolutely.
Almost instead of being really meticulous with how you planned everything.
Yeah.
Because things went to shit, and then there's nobody there to
the feedback
not even the feedback, just to put out the fires basically. There wasn't a checkpoint guy going, all right, how's this going?
It was like a whole snowball effect. It just kept growing and growing and growing. Yeah, nobody's stopping it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I read, and I think it was that this is their first major by themselves, like them doing it. Not sure what that means. So maybe that could be a top out for this organization. But I compared to last year, as a spectator, I enjoyed it more, and I felt like I had a mission, and I completed it when I went there. And here I needed to figure that out when I came here, based on the different rooms and all that stuff that they had. But yeah, I just wish that there's more organization. Do I come back? Not sure, to be honest. I mean, not sure right now.
I think there needs to be a lot of communication with the tournament organizer, anybody that's at the head of this tournament, to kind of keep communicating what changes they're doing, how they're gonna make stuff better, what their plans are. Knowing that there's like a certain awareness of all the issues that were this tournament, in order for me to go, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot because it's in my damn city again, and I can just go home if I don't like it, real easy. But I think I would go again, especially if like they have a game
that you're interested in.
Yeah, because that was pretty much my favorite part of going. Wasn't even anything to do with the tournament. It was playing a game that I actually think I would go outdoors for, because I haven't had that.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, I have to force myself, like if I was drinking medicine, to try and train for it. Yeah. Marvel, it took me till like it was already dead to finally get that thing going, to make me feel like I had an understanding of it. And even with that understanding, the way the meta went for it, I didn't like where it went. So I didn't. Street Fighter, played that for a bit, but I'm not in love with it. And the character that I played, that I liked playing with, wasn't strong and stayed not being strong. So it's just been like, for the last couple of years, me being an old guy too, just...
But you do that with most fighting games. You always get that character, the underdog character.
Just don't tell them about my Kyoshiro and Sam show. But yeah, it just felt good that to be there for a game that I've actually been enjoying and nice. Feel like I could go outside for. Like enough to go, let me go get some real competition today, instead of just trying to figure out that online stuff they got going on right now.
Yeah, to agree with you to that, sorry to cut you off. I felt like I haven't competed in a while. I remember you always beating the head on me. Yo, compete. But before there was nothing like that for me to compete. And so I didn't want to play Dragon Ball. I didn't want to. Like, I didn't. And there was nothing for me to play at that moment. I wasn't that strong in Blaze Blue yet to compete. But for
for Blaze Blue, we kind of stopped early.
Yeah, we did. Because we were waiting for updates and all stuff.
Yeah.
And we lost
interest.
So for Samsho, I have played Samsho for many years before, and I always spoke about it, and we played it, and I remember telling you, I lost, and I wasn't upset for losing. I wasn't salty. I was more upset as in, because I could have been better. Maybe if I would have known the game better, I would have done better. But I did have great matches, and I had good comebacks, and reliving that excitement with my rival, my challenger at that moment was so cool. It took me back to 15, 20 years, and I was hyped. My hands were shaking, which is the best feeling in the world. Like, you finish your match, you win or lose, and your hands are shaking. That felt awesome. And for me, I was super excited. Well, you guys saw me. I was smiling. I was like, let's do this. I wanted to, even if I lost a win, I wanted to keep going back and play.
Well, I would see you from like 15 feet away, since it was crowded.
Like every one of your matches, you're like over there in the corner where the crowd was, and I was like, I can't take pictures. I can't do anything.
I look back a little bit to see a glimpse, and you guys get a little nod. Like, they're supporting me. They're supporting me. And I even saw some reactions of the crowd doing this, and that felt awesome, dude. Like, I haven't had that in, like you mentioned, in a while, so.
Yeah.
And to my Marvel days back in the day,
Yeah.
But I'm definitely sticking to this game, and I want to see more. So hopefully this works, like you mentioned, and maybe I'll go if it comes again. So on different owner. So
yeah, they got it. The thing is, like, how do I put this? This was a really, whether it was good or bad, this was a really historic thing that happened for this community, because it's the first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were willing to go through a lot of, I guess, challenges to try and be a part of it. Like,
just to make it work.
Yeah, just to make it work, just to make sure everything went well. And I think, like, having that kind of pressure kind of makes you lose sight of certain things. Like, it's hard to really to really keep track of all these things that they probably have have to keep track of that you don't even think is something that you think about, even though you're on the outside going, man, I would have ran this like this. I would have ran this like that. I would have ran like that. So
it's easy to say that when you're the outsider. Like Absolutely. Even we've had conversations on like I had said for Saturday, when the room was hot, like if you're not competing, kick everybody else off the room.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, but it's also like, can you really do that? Like, are you gonna like?
But that's the one.
But it's always a lot easier to be like
that's
what
I mean.
Like,
that's what I mean though. Like if I'm in a pool, I feel like I have that power. Like if I'm a pool runner, I feel like I have that power. I'm gonna. Hi kids, we're recording right now. Say hello. Tell them we're recording, okay? So that they don't come in.
Gotta be quiet.
So, all right, that means we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know what I was saying, but it's just like I hope that even if it's not through them, that somebody decides or tries to make magic happen and have this happen again in Manhattan, because it's not just for people traveling outside of the state, but for like neighboring people like New Jersey, Staten Island, Long Island. It's easier for it to be in Manhattan because everybody's meeting up around the same time
it's
frame.
Like a central spot, yeah.
Yeah, heart. Yeah, absolutely.
So if it happens again, you know, I'm gonna give it that one more try, especially if my game is there. Mm-hmm. It's just too easy.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's too easy of something to get to not want to go to, and it honestly, my experience there wasn't so bad. But you know, that's not my experience, and some people's experiences were good, some people's experiences were bad. So. Yeah.
Mostly negative, but still, you know, as like you mentioned, we just gotta learn. They gotta learn from that and see what we get from that.
It's mostly negative. Because we have to bring it up. You know, it's mostly negative.
Yeah, and because it's a lot of expectations. New York, man.
Yeah.
Fucking New York. You gotta be the best.
You wanted to work for New York.
You gotta be the best. Places, it's not that we are prideful or anything, right? Right? Yeah. New York, no.
In some cases, you know, it's New York. It's one of the strongest fighting game communities in America. Yeah. You know, there's the West Side, there's somewhere in the middle, there's Florida, and there's New York. Those are like the big areas for these things. So, yeah, that was Defend the North for us. Thanks for listening in, guys. Doublekoradio as a unit out.